Hey, this is Jackson, aka Gamble,
And this is Tyler, aka Flux.
and we will be bringing you a game between myself as the yellow Protoss player and Nikoleye as the purple Terran.
Again, this game is part of a showmatch series between the University of Texas at Austin and the University of Texas at Arlington. The series has proven to be a pretty exciting match or series so far. We've gotten 2-2, and this is game 5. Again, we have Gamble versus Nikolai, so it should be a pretty exciting game.
Yeah, we do see that this is going to be played on Lost Temple. A very classic map dating back throughout many
Many,
Blizzard
many
games.
years.
Yeah, and so it should be a pretty classic showdown right here.
Early game, I would say that this map, just because if the Protoss player chooses to early expand, the cliff over the natural can be used to a huge advantage by the Terran player. Dropping some Marines or Marauders up there, dropping a tank up there, he can really siege that natural expansion fairly easily. And it lets the Protoss player have something to handle. It can be pretty effective.
Right, exactly. If he gets like 3 or 4 tanks up there, that's going to shut down your expansion because your probes can't be mining during that or they're going to get blasted. And if you don't have some sort of sight like an observer or some sort of air unit to look up there, it can be very difficult to deal with.
Exactly. You've pretty much got no chance unless you get something to get up there at that point.
Right. So we do see like a standard build from coming in from Terran, 12 racks. Looks like he's throwing in like gas at 13 right now. And yeah, just going to see a standard opening from Terran.
Yeah, this is pretty standard play. Normal early supply depot into the racks and refinery. We see some good harassment going down by Gamble right now on these SCVs. Just to delay the turn a little bit and force him to pull some guys off of minerals, off of gathering, so that he can deal with his probe. And pulling out right as the shield gets down to 0. That's great technique there.
Yeah, this is, very open to all Protoss players. I think all Protoss players should be doing this just because probes are so strong and the fact that they are able to regenerate that HP and just cause tons of harassment, you have to respect that as a Terran player and come down with a couple SFs to block that.
Of course, of course. And the SCV does have a little bit more health, but because of that region, you can kite around for a little while and be far, far ahead. Up in the Protoss space, we see 2 early gateways, much like Flux did in the last game, as followed by a cybernetics core. So pretty standard, like we talked about last time. This is a good opening versus Terran in this patch of the game, just because of its effectiveness. You're pushing the front and then following it up with usually either a Void Ray or more gateways. So
Yeah.
we'll see how Gamble handles this.
And the Terran player does see this because he had an SVV in the Protoss base the entire time. The downside of this build is that you don't get any fighting units for a long time, so they are free to scout your base. And it looks
Exactly.
like right, the Terran player is going to respond with a tech lab, so going to see some infantry upgrades, maybe some Marauders. A second barracks being thrown down as well, so yeah, he's going to be prepared with lots of infantry.
Yeah, I'd say that's a good response. Make sure you have that stuff up so that you can handle it. We see the SCV that's still roaming, or was until very recently roaming around Gamble's base, picked off a probe in the mineral line, but was then immediately killed.
Yeah, so the 2 Stalkers are out now. They're going to be making their way across the map, and looking at the unit counting station, we see that Terran player really only has 2 Marines. So this is the effect of this fast Stalker play, is that the timing of this is such that they will always only have 2 or 3 Marines, and if they don't have a bunker down, those Marines are going to die pretty easily.
Yeah, Marines, honestly, are not the right unit to handle Stalkers. The great thing about this build, though, is you need those Marines to handle the Void Rays. So you've got to come up with a great...
You see the attack coming in now, and it looks like Gamble targeted firing these Marines, going to take down 1, 2 Marines. The last one
almost
trying to run away, but the thing about Stalkers is that they're so fast, they're going to be able to catch anything.
There goes the third.
Right. Killing the
And
SCV, delaying this barracks even more.
yeah, this is a great choice by Gamble. Oh, look, he's pulling off 3 SCVs, forced to take care of this right as his Marauder pops out. That's a great almost block there, but it looks like the Stalkers are going to get out in time.
Yeah, but
that's the one thing
has been done, forcing all these SCVs to come off the line. This Mule, not even mining, wasting a lot of time. I don't think the Terran player realizes this is a huge blunder, but yeah, this is what kind of damage the harass does.
Exactly. The thing about this 1-1-1 build is you want to get it up very quickly so that you can handle the pressure that any player like the Protoss player here would put on you. When an early pressure and early attack comes in like that, you're forced to delay it, which can really hurt you in the long run.
Right. Looking at the production tab, we do see an Immortal coming out for the Protoss player.
Oh, interesting choice there. That's going to handle those Marauders quite nicely since the Protoss is already ahead in units, it looks like.
Right. Looks like Terran player is going for a reactor on the starport, so it looks like it will be the standard infantry ball for Terran. And although it's not a very creative play, it's definitely very strong. Those medevacs in the early game going to be able to heal up those units and just provide a lot of help to any sort of army that the Terran player has.
Yeah, like you said, it's not too unique, but it's potent, it's potent, it's potent. So it's a great response. I probably shouldn't have repeated that word so many times, but all right. The first
that is very potent.
It's a great choice. But now we see the first Immortal from Gamble heading down to the Terran place. So he's containing, which is a very good choice, making sure the Terran player can't expand yet, and really making sure he commits to those units, because a push will be coming soon from the looks of it.
Right, and it looks like Terran player, a lot of Marauders, went very heavy on the Marauders, neglected to get a few Marines. If we had seen some sort of Void Ray play, this would have been over very fast.
Yeah, but then again, the Terran player would have that little bit of a safety net based on the reactor starport, but still it takes a couple of seconds to get that out, and Void Rays only take a little bit of time to charge up and really do a ton of damage.
Right. So yeah, it looks like the Observer coming in, and looks like Protoss will be trying to bust this ramp.
Here, attack those Marauders on the high ground.
Immortals going down. Medevacs are healing, but not enough HPS versus EPS from the Protoss play. That Immortal doing tons of damage to those Marauders, doing 50 damage a shot, and it is.
Yeah, the Terran player really should have focused on that Immortal a lot sooner. And there's the GG from Nikoleye. Well played by him, but unfortunately, it just wasn't enough to handle that push. Jackson, what were you thinking when you? Why did you go this build? Was it something you saw in his base, or did you have it planned from the beginning?
Well, I think I always like to open with the 2 Stalker opening versus Terran, just because it allows me to put on so much aggression. And based on what I see there and what I'm able to do, that's when I decide whether I want to expand fast or whether I want to go for a Templar or Colossi. In terms of this game, I did come into the base and kill 3 Marines, so that's actually a huge thing. I could have gone for Void Ray play, killing off lots of his anti-air, so I know he would have had less Marines, so Void Rays were definitely open. But in this case, I decided to go for a Robo, because I did see that Tech Lab, so I suspected some Marauder play.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I think that's the beauty of that opening that you went. It can really open to a lot of different play styles very easily, and it's very reactive to what your opponent does. So, well played by you and Nikoleye in that game. That means UT Austin is up 3-2. Let's look forward to the next games.